Good afternoon and welcome to M.M.E. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we are covering the third part of our ongoing Barricade series. Earlier this week we covered the robot mode of Barricade, then we moved into Blindformers where we discussed a review of the transformation and a how-to to do the transformation, as well as creating a little speed video, a speed run of the transformation as a little challenge. See if any of you can go a faster time than me in that video. And finally, we're coming to the end of our Barricade series. This day we are talking about Barricade's vehicle mode and pros and cons of said vehicle mode. And so, I'm going to do a nice little in-depth review of this really fun little vehicle, and then we will call an end to the chapter on Studio Series Bayverse Movie 1 Barricade. Yay! Finally! I do enjoy it whenever I close down a chapter on a Transformer. It also means I have to figure out what I'm going to talk about next week. That's always fun, and it gives me time to think over the weekend. So today, covering the police car form of Barricade from the first Transformers movie. Now, let me get ahead and get his measurements so that we get an understanding of a few things about him. For one, he is thinner than the average Transformer from the from Generations. He is actually more like 5 studs wide. So he's more on the size scale of Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee than on actual other vehicles. So, isn't that interesting? Now, lengthwise, he is 10 studs. Is that 10? Let's see. Yep, that's 10 studs long. And height-wise, he is right there. And he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 studs in height. So he's 5 studs wide, 5 studs tall. He's as wide as he is. He's as wide as he is tall. And he's 10 studs long. And this guy is divisible. Definitely divisible. So let's get a Cliff Jumper. Here's Cliff Jumper. Now Cliff Jumper and him together. Cliff Jumper's more like 4 studs wide, so Barricade is still wider than Cliff Jumper. And Cliff Jumper, around here, over there. Cliff Jumper is not as long as Barricade in vehicle mode. That neat. Before I get into any more, let's talk about Barricade himself. This police car. It's got 4 rolling wheels. I do like the hubcaps on these wheels. They're not like pinned in, so you get a nice full hubcap with none of that stupid flathead screwdriver looking thing in the center. I hate that. I love the way these wheels feel. These are nice. I like the rubberized guardrail thing on the front of the vehicle mode. You see that on a lot of police cars. They have that crash bar on the front. And they did a good job with this one. They rubberized it, which was weird. I totally was thrown off by that. And then it occurred to me, like, if you can afford rubber on these, can't you just give us rubber tires? How difficult is it? Seriously, guys and gals who work at Hasbro, I want some rubber tires. If you can put rubber on the vehicle mode and the robot mode of this thing, then what stops you from putting rubber on the tires? Just give us our rubber tires, please. Please. McFarlane does a good job with rubber tires. Are you saying that you're not as good as McFarlane, Hasbro? I mean, honestly, these days, that is a difficult question that I don't want to answer because I don't really like McFarlane toys, but when it comes to vehicles, McFarlane is winning. Let's see, we're talking about the wheels. The length of this thing's not bad. It's got 4 doors, kind of. Not really, though. It's more like a hatchback police car, so it's got 1 big door on each side, but then I guess they got to push the seat up in order to shove the criminal behind them. I don't know how that works. This is a tiny door. I mean, this is a tiny car for a police car. Maybe the door needs to be shorter or something. I don't know, but it's definitely odd to me that there's only 2 doors on a police car. They usually have 4 doors. And they're usually a bit bigger than this. Barricade was this tiny, we'll call him a scout class police car. Yeah. Some other little fun features. His feet come out to be these, the ends of his feet become these really cool exhaust pipes, 4 of them on the back of the police car. Yeah, he likes that Knox. And the weight of this police car, it's compact, it's heavy, it's nice. And I do like the little police car bar on the top, the light bar, though this light bar is actually part of the vehicle, which is weird because, we've come across light bars, like Cliff Jumper's currently rocking. Yeah. Give me your light bar, Cliff Jumper. He doesn't like to let go of it. Yeah, so we got the light bar that comes with most of the generation stuff, and it's weird that we don't, this light bar, of course, has a siege port in the middle of it and stuff like that, but I guess because of how thin that piece is, that the light bar is on Barricade, they just decided not to do light bar. And it's understandable not to do a separate piece, but actually just mold it into the actual. And it does make it feel really nice. Like, that is a unique feeling light bar. Though I do wish it had some more texture details, like in the center or something, like where the sounds would come out of from the center of the light bar. It's neat though. So yeah, there's not really much to talk about on a vehicle. It's got 2 rear view mirrors and a nice hood that's got some great detailing in it, and vent action. I love me some vent action, you know that. And there's 2 big vents on this hood, and everything just flows together. I do like this vehicle mode. So let's bring out a couple of comparisons from the Studio Series line. We have Mixmaster here, and Mixmaster in the Studio Series line. Let's take a look. We'll put Barricade bumper to bumper, and Barricade, the front of his vehicle mode comes up to the little staircase that enters the cab for Mixmaster here. I chose Mixmaster because, judging by his rear view mirrors and Barricade's rear view mirrors, these guys are in similar scale to one another in vehicle mode. And that is the case with bone pressure? No. Oh, crap. I don't remember what this guy's name is. He is the terrible bulldozer from the Devastator line. The thing that I absolutely hate, and makes me really dislike Bayverse Transformers, because it's the Pogo Bot. Yay, Pogo Bot! Who thought that was a great idea? Seriously, I wonder what Bay was smoking when he came up with the Pogo Bot. I mean, he came up with the Wheelbot too, so yeah, he was definitely smoking something. What kind of crazy awesome Transformer has a pogo for a leg? That doesn't work. That's not. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It was the goofiest thing in the world, but we're not talking about the Pogo Bot. But ooh, that was actually my first More Than Meets the Eye. I ripped into this Pogo Bot like nobody's business. Anyway, the Pogo Bot and Barricade here. I don't know why I was comparing him to Mixmaster. Let's get the Pogo Bot here and compare him to Barricade. Now we got a nice little. This seems like the right size for a big bulldozer next to a police car. There's the cross, and of course, here's the scene of the police car getting rolled over by the bulldozer. Yeah. One day, that is going to be an interesting news story whenever all the construction workers in America start protesting and driving their bulldozers to city squares to protest. Yeah, come at the bulldozer cops. Actually, now that I think about it, we did have a crazy person in America who did something like that. I don't remember the guy's name, but he went about bulletproofing a bulldozer and went to town. Like, literally. He took his bulldozer to town and flattened most of it. And then found a basement that wasn't on any records. Somebody had built a basement without proper stuff. It's crazy. Anyway, this bulldozer and him work well together. They are the right sizes, I think. This works out pretty well. You can find can't really find any rear view mirrors on this bulldozer, but the bulldozer seems to be the right size. And yeah, that is today's video on Barricade. It's an excellent little transformer, has a great transformation, has a decent little vehicle mode. It's nice, it does its things when it's supposed to. I'd give this vehicle mode a 9 out of 10 vehicle mode. Honestly, maybe 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10. It's not a bad vehicle mode. It's almost perfect, but I wish it had some gimmicks, maybe some siege ports, some extra stuff. Maybe a little cool gimmick would have been nice. But yeah, so it's going to get an 8.5. I'll give it an 8.5 because I really like this vehicle, but at the same time, it could have been a little more. They could have done just a little more with it. But overall, it's excellent. So what was that? I gave the transformation a 9 out of 10. I gave this guy vehicle mode, 9 out of 10. The robot mode was more like a 7 out of 10. Averaging those together, we get something weird, funky number. So 9 and 9 together is 18, and then add the 18 and the 7 together, and you get 7 and 18 together is 25. 25 divided by 3 is a non-existent number, but it comes out to be 8. I'd give it 8.3. Yeah, it gets an 8.3 as its average, and that's just cuff of the math. Math on the cuff of my sleeve, however you want to say it. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please tune into my channel, blind_prime. Tomorrow, I will be discussing how to build the letter J out of Legos for Braille. So if you're interested in learning Braille for yourself, because here in America, they do not have enough access to teach Braille. That is why I'm doing the Braille sections on my channel, because good luck finding. You can go to any college in America and learn American Sign Language, but good luck finding a college that will teach you Braille. I think that's a really, really big oversight in our government and in our country at the moment, in the world, is that Braille is not considered a second language, and that does limit its ability to be taught in schools because so much focus is put on second languages. And if it's not a second language, then it's harder for for students to learn it. It's harder for them to get access to it, and it would be considered an elective course if it was offered, and it would not generally be something that your scholarship would be willing to pay for, unless, of course, it's a second language, and then your scholarship would be like, oh yeah, I want to pay for a second language. So help me get Braille set up as a second language. That's what the building Braille's all about. Let's get Braille known as a second language in this country or something. Let's get it at least to language status where you can learn it at a university. I would love Braille to be taught in every university across the world because it is a unique thing. It's difficult to learn, yes, but it's highly rewarding, and you can always pass notes when no one can see. I don't know why the military doesn't do it all the time, because the military should learn Braille. It's the best way in the world to pass notes. Or at least, if you don't want any light or electronics showing up, you got Braille. You stencil it out and send it in. Thanks for watching. Please tune into my channel, blind_prime, for full in-depth reviews of Transformers, action figures, blind people stories, and of course, building Braille. Until next Prime, bye-bye for now.